Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Boy, do I have the perfect video for you guys to help reinforce a point that I've been trying to make for a while now. I think there's a whole lot of Ron DeSantis copium. Donald Trump is clearly the problem. He's the extreme one. He's the one that gives the left all the ammunition that they need to attack him. The only solution is to switch to Ron DeSantis because Ron DeSantis is more moderate, more of a polished politician. They're certainly not going to attack him, right? Well, that seems to be the narrative, that he's much more palatable and harder to attack. And in a certain way, there is some merit to that argument. But most of that credit, I think, goes to Ron DeSantis because the man's an expert when it comes to dismantling phony left-wing narratives. And so he's pretty good at dealing with the media. But the idea that the mainstream media is going to treat Ron DeSantis any different from Donald Trump, I think is just a little bit naive. I think it's a little bit nonsensical. I don't think we've seen the left-wing mainstream media's full offensive just yet. Or rather, full defensive, I guess you could say. Because when the establishment left's back is against the wall, that's of course when they show their fangs. And it's already starting. I mean, they clearly view Ron DeSantis as a threat. They might even view him as the #1 threat, especially moving forward after 2024. And so they're already starting to do the same thing to Ron DeSantis as they are to Donald Trump. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, take a look at this from the Gateway Pundit. Predictable. MSNBC's Joy Reid insists that Ron DeSantis would be more authoritarian than Donald Trump.
But a story about a cartoon creator becoming the voice of the great white male freakout doesn't end at Dilbert or even at Elon Musk. It ends, or rather begins, with white grievance politics potentially becoming U.S. federal policy. If Florida Governor Ron DeSantis becomes president of the United States, which he is clearly aiming for, America will become the land of total government control over women's bodies, Black history, gender identity, how you can teach, learn, read, think, even talk. It would essentially be a more functionally authoritarian version of Trump, a more action, less personality type of president who's basically offering two options: pre-civil rights America or total control of society. But of course, his robust PR team has you thinking quite the opposite, which is why his new book, titled, and I'm not making this up, The Courage to be Free, The Courage to be Free, as a firsthand account from the blue-collar boy with a dream to take down Disney and librarians. It got scorched by the New York Times, obviously. Its reviewer saying, quote, all the culture war mad libs can't distract from the dull coldness at this book's core. And that it will leave some supporters who have encouraged DeSantis to humanize himself sorely disappointed. The world DeSantis is building, the reviewer said, down in Florida is one that uses the power of government to make the Dilbert guys of the world feel comfortable. They feel good about themselves, centered, you know. Did you know that this isn't even Baby MAGA's first book? He also penned Dreams from Our Founding Fathers, published in 2011. And it pretty much sums up what we already know about the guy. David Waldstreicher wrote about the book in The Atlantic, saying the most revealing and consequential element of the book is the insistence that the role of slavery and race more broadly does not seriously change anything about how we should understand the birth and development of our country.
And so here's the point that I've been making or trying to make for a couple years now. You know, the idea that Ron DeSantis just automatically makes all the problems go away, I think this right here is proof that that is not the case. The problem isn't Donald Trump. The problem is a dishonest, biased, corrupt, bought and paid for left-wing legacy media that will do anything to protect its power. In other words, anything to destroy, dismantle, and take down the Republican Party, conservative and nationalistic values that oppose the new globalist world order. And this has been my #1 criticism against the neocons, the establishment rhino GOP, and a certain faction of the GOP voter base which is flaky and frankly full of cowards. You buy into all the left-wing narratives that Donald Trump's the problem, Donald Trump's this, Donald Trump's that, he's unpresidential, he causes all this drama, he's involved in all of these scandals, it's all his fault. You feed into their strategy, fall into their trap, and leave your party's political candidate weak, vulnerable, and unsupported. That's exactly what the neocons have been doing for the last 6 years. Cowering, assuming the fetal position anytime the mainstream media attacks. Cowering in fear. And the assumption is that if you ditch your president, if you ditch the leader of your political party, that it's all magically going to go away. Of course not. That's not how it works with the schoolyard bully. Why would that work with the mainstream media? That's 10 times more relentless and vicious. The last 6 years, cowardly neocon hacks have have essentially opened the door, left themselves unguarded to mainstream media attacks, basically accepting free punches to the face. Now you expect to capitulate to these lunatic leftists in their war against conservative values. We changed our leader. Are you happy now, leftists? Will you love us now? Will you treat us fairly now that we got rid of the evil orange man? It's completely ridiculous. Of course not. They're going to attack Ron DeSantis probably 10 times more than they attack Donald Trump because they view him as more of a threat. The problem isn't Donald Trump. The problem is the cowardly GOP ways and this weird standard that these neocons have, or this weird focus, this twisted focus, caring more about what the New York Times is writing about them and about their leader and political party than the truth, the reality, or fighting back against these phony narratives. What Republicans want is for all the drama to go away, for us to get back to the old times when Democrats and Republicans were friends. It's never gonna happen. Those days are long gone. The mainstream media has been totally taken over. It's totally dominated by Democrat political will, Democrat actors. And there's no going back. They've officially waged a cultural war, a political war on conservatives, and the idea that you're gonna win that battle by cowering and trying to do things that you think is gonna make them happy is frankly pathetic. There's only one way to win, and that's to beat them at their own game. To actually stand up on your own 2 feet and stand up for what's right. Stand up for the leader that your political party has nominated and actually defend that individual against all these heinous, despicable, slanderous attacks. Pivoting to Ron DeSantis fixes nothing. Ron DeSantis is Donald Trump 2.0. At least that's how the media views him. They view him as Donald Trump, but even more dangerous. Ron DeSantis has also made some enemies, namely Disney. Just in, Florida Governor DeSantis signs bill stripping Disney of self-governing status.
All right. Today is the 27th? 27th, yeah. I have a book coming on the 28th. Of course I should know what date it is.
Tell us.
All right. Well. Right here.
And I seem to remember, I think I read this once, that Disney is a parent corporation or probably a subsidiary of another parent corporation, probably owned by a massive investment firm that probably controls a significant portion or a significant slice of the mainstream media pie. Obviously, I'm being sarcastic. I don't have a vague memory of that. I didn't just read that somewhere. I know that for a fact. It's common knowledge. Everybody knows that. You're telling me that Ron DeSantis has made Disney public enemy #1 in the state of Florida, and now as he sets his eye as becoming the next president of the United States, possibly in this election cycle, maybe in the next, you're telling me that the mainstream media is just gonna let this guy go. He's gonna be their boy. Not gonna happen. The mainstream media will stop at nothing but the total collapse and destruction of conservative politics, the GOP, the Republican Party, whatever you want to call it. No matter who it is, they will play their dirty games, they will lie, they'll make up stories, make up statistics, anonymous sources, leaking. It'll be a never-ending propaganda battle, a cultural war against whoever that conservative leader is. Again, I guess, finish up and wrap this video, the conclusion is, Donald Trump is not the problem. Ron DeSantis is not the problem. Problem is the cowardly GOP letting the Democrat establishment and the media establishment walk all over them. It's not time to dump Trump and all problems go away. It's time to double down, unite, support, and defend Donald Trump, craft a coherent message targeting Democrat incompetence, corruption, and immoral actions and policies. It's time to get based and BTFO the Democrats instead of whatever the heck the Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Nikki Haley, Jeb Bush, the list is really growing by the day, Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, Mitt Romney, faction of the party is suggesting you do. I don't know, that's just my thought. And I felt like this moment with Joy Reid perfectly reinforces the point that I've been trying to make. Hopefully you guys see where I'm coming from, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, friends, and I'll see you on the next one.